Well, welcome to Race Country Cottage, our Thai house build. This is week 12, and isn't it a glorious day? It's Saturday and the sun's shining. During the week we've had a little bit of rain, and the builders had to stop and start and get out of the rain because you can't use power tools when it's wet. But today it's full steam ahead in this glorious weather. So what's been happening this week? More walls and more on the roof. Calling it Walls and Roof Part 2. In terms of ourselves, on Monday we had to do a quick dash to Nakhon Phanom for my partner's mother, who was in hospital for a few days. See her, just for observation for some illness she had. Doctor thought she'd best be in hospital, but she's out now and all is okay. Then on Thursday we took off to Mukdahan just to get away for a day, have lunch by the river, and then a lot of exploring of Home Pro and Thai Watsadu in terms of tiling for the house, kitchen design, and some lighting. So all things to think about, things we'll need as the build progresses, but trying to understand what we want now so when the time comes we're ready to go. Anyway, join me for this week's update on walls and roofs. Cheers, thanks for coming along. So here we have some drone footage of the green season, wet season, of the environment around our house build. So lots of trees and lots of greenery. Here's a shot of where we're living temporarily and where the house build site is and the path I take every day to check things out. And it was a busy week. Sparks were flying. The week began on Monday, and just did a drone fly around that I'll leave to let you have a look at as the work team arrived on Monday morning. So this week has been about finishing some block work. Here we see the bathroom walls are going up using red brick, which I'll explain a bit more later. Some of the local boys are using the red brick in the bathrooms. Here's the double wall that they'll be putting in around all the rooms. And they use the red brick instead of the aerated brick because when it's cemented in, they claim it's stronger, but it's not as porous and doesn't absorb any moisture with the wet bathrooms. So that's the reason they use them, I'm told. And then some red brick is going up in the kitchen between the utility room and the kitchen area because it's a bathroom and laundry room, so considered a wet area. It's also good for the kitchen wall because it's strong to hang kitchen cabinets on, which we plan to do along this wall. He's a good bricklayer, this fella, and you can see he's had some progress. From start, he's got himself up a fair distance. I've had to learn some new roofing terms with the roof team on site and putting all these pieces of metal. I was curious as to what they all were, which I'll explain a bit later. So here the boys back at work. So these steel pieces you can see, they're attached to top plates on the columns, and as I understand it, they're joists. The joists are welded to the top plates. You can see the welding here. The early part of the week, they were finishing off all the joists on top of on the top plates. You can see the bricks all laid out, ready to continue. So we just had a quick wander around on the Monday just to see if things are moving along quickly, as you can see here. All going well, everybody's busy. A lot of the work this week has been to finish off the form work around doors and windows so that once that's completed they can do the block work to the top of the metal beams around the house. So here they're putting in the metal casing for the door. They attach it to the rebar and then they put builder's wood around it and fill up with concrete. As you can see, it's all installed here, and this is the builder's wood that they put around. Once it's all poured, they then remove the metal casing. I thought it was left, but it actually comes out. They use metal because it's stronger. It doesn't bend. Here the foreman's doing the casing for the window for the bathroom. This is a truss work. The lounge dining is 8.5 by 6 meters, and so with not to have posts there, they had to put trusses in to allow the space to be more open, which will make it better for obviously living and for interior designing. Wall work happening and the boys on the roof above. So two teams working together. A lot of the people laying the bricks and that have to look up. This is the roof boss and foreman. He's talking to my partner. And I have to do voiceover on a lot of these videos because the noise on the site is too great to try and do live videoing. So lots of cutting of metal. This saw goes through the metal beams just like butter. Slow cutting of butter, but no problem. Now the beam's cut. It's up in place, and now they're just trying to get it aligned to the design measurements. So, poking, kicking, and it gets into place, no problem, and then they weld it there. You can see why the columns and foundation need to be strong, because the weight is extremely heavy. So as they're cutting and welding, all the metal had been dipped in red oxide anti-rust material, but they go back and paint all the welds or cuts to make sure it still remains covered in the anti-rust oxide. So I'm happy with the work of the roofer so far and attention to detail. So we got to the midweek, and that's what things were looking like around the house. A few more walls to go up yet, but generally things are looking pretty tidy. A couple of repeat shots here. I don't know how they managed to get into the video, but they did. So we discovered a bit of a problem, that the piping put in during the concrete pour was not in the right location. It was just slightly off. It needed to be closer to the edge of the dip, because this needs to be inside the wall, and it wasn't going to be. So they cut out the concrete and then just cut the pipe off and put an elbow in and move it over, as you can see here. So good solution to a little bit of a problem. So for some roofing terms, you can see here some rafters, the things on an angle. They go up from the joists that are attached to the columns, up to the ridge, which sits on top of the wind brace, the large square piece with uprights. How's that for some roofing terms? I think I've got it right, but it might be called different things in different parts of the world, who knows. A lot of metal. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. I'm amazed at how it comes from the blueprints to reality. Well, we made it to Friday, the 5th of July. which is great. The weather's been fairly kind, only a few short breaks for rain downpours. There's a lot of concentration on the red bricks to finish off the wet areas, the toilet, utility room out near the kitchen. It's got just a toilet in the laundry area. And the bricklayer hard at work, doing a great job. Nice finish. Everything will be rendered over after, so anything that looks rough now is fixed and finished with render and a smooth top coat. So the boys are back on the roof again. You can start to see the rafters, how they go from the edge with a 1 meter overhang up to the ridge of the roof. This is the wind brace, the large square structure in front of you. I understand that's what it's called. And just an internal view of the house. So I went out to the front to have a look what the house looked like from the road, and here's a frontage view. Looks okay to me. So I was having a look at the works and saw this column sticking out on the wall and thought, that's to be a wall of cabinets. I can't have a column that sticks out to have a bank of cabinets. So I had a look at the drawings, the blueprints, and it doesn't show any column there. Scratching the head, spoke to the builder, and he said that the wall needed a column. It wasn't on the drawing, but the problem can be fixed with adding a double brick wall there to make it flush. So that's what they've done. They've started the double wall. And this fella who's the bricklayer, doing a great job. He finishes off that internal wall, makes it look good. This is a view to the west from the kitchen. They're putting in the double brick wall at the back because that wall's exposed to the west afternoon sun. Every few bricks, as they go up, they drill into the column and put some rebar to tie the bricks to the column. And there'll be a nice wide window opening here, as you can see. So sitting if I'm in having a coffee in the kitchen, I can look out to the greenery, or doing the dishes more likely, I can look at the greenery. And you can see the double wall that's now going against the column to make it flush. Then we're into the bathrooms where they're tying up the rebar to make the beam for the formwork. And then there's a doorway leading from the living room down to the bedrooms to help with the air conditioning, so it's not trying to cool down that hallway. And they're just got the metal door casing in and doing the rebar and formwork. Here's a front door opening. It's quite wide. The door will be 1.1 meters wide with a side part to it. And this is, you can see the roof overhang. It'll overhang by 1 meter from the balconies. So the balcony is either 1.5 meters at the front, part of it's 2.5 meters, which will make it 3.5. And at the back, it's 3.5 with a meter overhang. So it'll be 4.5, keeps the sun off, which is great. So that's it for this week. We'll leave you with the roofers finishing off on this great, lovely Saturday afternoon, bright sunny day. Thanks for joining me, and look forward to sharing next week's activity with you. Cheers, bye.